Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Creative Hands by Shay. So today I'm here with another video where I will be showing you how to make a granny stitch blanket. So I have 5 different colors here. I have 3 shades of brown and I have these 3 different ones here and 2 shades of green. I will be, however, putting on the screen more information on these colors and all the materials that we'll be needing to make this blanket. So guys, this blanket instruction will be very straightforward and easy to follow. So let's jump in the video. So to begin, we will start off by making a slip knot. So insert your hook, wrap it around and pull up a loop. You can make your slip knot anyhow you want to. This is just the way how I made mine. And then I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So into this first stitch that we made, we are going to make a slip stitch in that. So insert your hook, pull up a loop and make a slip stitch. Now that we have our slip stitch there, you're going to chain 2 and that chain 2 count as our first double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop and make your first double crochet there. Make another one and that completes our first cluster. Now you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Insert your hook again and make another cluster of 3. And while I go along, I am going to be weaving in this tail and then I'll just cut that off, the remaining part. So now I have my next cluster, chain 2, insert my hook again, make another cluster. So we're making cluster 4 sets of cluster here, 2 and 3, chain 2, yarn over, 1, 2 and 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that I have my 4 there, I am going to chain 2 and we're going to skip this chain 2 and go into this first double crochet here and make a slip stitch. Now that we made our slip stitch there, we're going to turn our work and then we are going to make a slip stitch into that space. And then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then make a cluster, 1, 2, so that's 3 there because this chain 2 count as 1. Then we're going to chain 2 and make another set of cluster in that same space, and this is going to count as our corner. So that's our first corner there. Now we're going to chain 1 and into the next space you are going to make another set here. This is going to be our second corner. Chain 2 and basically you're just repeating the same sequence. So continue doing that and I will see you at the end of making my clusters. So remember to chain 1. When you get here you will chain 2 to separate the cluster of 3 just like we did before. So you can see that there. So now I have come to the end and this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to chain 2, 1 and no, I am going to chain 1, I am going to chain 1 and then I'm going to do slip stitch on top of this first double crochet. So I'm not going to change my color as yet, but what I'm going to do now is I am going to turn my work into that space there. I am going to make a slip stitch. So basically I'm going to do about 5 rows of this color, and then I will change my color. So now I am going to chain 2, and then I am going to make a cluster of 3. So that's 2 and 3. Remember, this first chain 2 count as a double crochet. Chain 1, and into the corner you are going to make 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then another set, 1, 2, and 3. So that completes our corner there. Now you're going to chain 1, and into this chain 1 space you're going to make just 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, into this corner you're going to make another corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, into that same space you're going to make another cluster, and that completes our next corner. You're going to chain 1, yarn over, and insert your hook again and make another set of 3. So continue doing that same thing, and I will meet you at the end of row 3. So that is what it looks like so far. So I have come to the end here of row 3, and I chain my 1, making my slip stitch on top of this first double crochet instead of the chain 2. Now that I have done that, I am going to turn my work again, and into that space I am going to make a slip stitch, and we're going to repeat this same pattern. So this pattern is very repetitive, and it is very beginner friendly, and it is easy to follow. So basically I am going to go up to 5 rows, as I mentioned before, of the tan color, and then I will change over using another color. So I will work my next 2 rows, and I will see you at the end of making that when I'm reaching my 5 rows. So guys, now I have come to the end of my 5 rows, and this is what it looks like. You can see that it is getting bigger as I go along. Now I am going to change to my color. Well, I'm using my brown now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join this onto this part here, and I'm going to join that so that I'm just going to cut this part off here. So that you have a clean cut when you go across. So I'm going to give that a tie. And then I am going to slip stitch on top here. You know what, let me just chain 1 because that one just went down. So I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to make my slip stitch. So now that I have done that, I am going to turn and make a slip stitch inside that same space. And this is how you're gonna change your color each time. Chain 2 and make 2 more double crochets. So each time for each rows you are going to turn your work. Chain 1, go into the next space and make your cluster of 3. This is a different brand yarn, so it looks a little bit different. I'm just actually noticing that. This one is actually the Craft Smart brand. I actually bought this at it is great to make amigurumi dolls or whatever you want to make. I actually bought it at Michael's. I think I paid about $4 something for it. Yeah, I like the texture actually. So anyways, moving along, basically repeating the same thing as we did before. So each time you are changing your color, you can change it just the way how I just showed you how to do that, so it does not look any different. Or if you have your own way of changing your color, you can do so, but that's just the way how I change my colors, because I do have a clean cut when I do that. So continue doing that. I'm not sure how big I'm going to make this blanket, but I will let you know how big it's going to be. So I'm just going to continue making rows until I get to the desired amount or width that I want it to be. So now that I changing to my brown, I'm actually going to do 10 rows of the brown. So I think basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue doing it like that. So I'm going to do 10 rows of brown. You can switch it up anyhow you want to do it, but this is what I'm going to do. Doing 10 rows of brown, and then I will be doing 10 rows of another color and just switch it up. So anyhow you want to switch it up, you can. Any colors that you want to use, you don't have to use the same color that I'm using. You can switch it up the way how you want to. So continue doing your rows, and I will see you when I change to my next color. So guys, now I have come to the end here of my 10 rows of the brown, and this is what it looks like so far. So in order for you to count your rows, you can do that by counting from the corner. So this part here is the corner, so you can always know how to count your rows go up. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to change color, and I'm going to go to the darker brown, and I'm going to do 3 rows of this. After the brown, I will change to this color here, and then I'm going to do 5 rows of this color. So I'm just going to join my yarn here, and basically you're just doing the same thing, repeating over and over. And I am going to continue putting my colors together. Let me just tie this. And then chain 1. Oh, wrong one. Chain 1. And then I am just going to do my slip stitch on top of my first double crochet here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this part off. So I don't need that one anymore for now. And then we're going to turn and continue doing the same sequence. So always remember to turn your work when you're starting a new row. 1, 2, and then in this row here I'm doing my 2 double crochets. So as I mentioned, I am going to do 3 rows of this brown here, and then when I get to the end of that, I will be doing 5 rows of the yellow one here, and then I'll just continue doing that. Basically it's just however you want to intertwine your colors. It doesn't really matter, it's up to you, so it's very optional. So I'm going to continue doing that, and I'm going to go up to whatever amount. I will show you how it is at the end, and you'll be able to make one of your own. So I'm just going to continue doing that, and I'll see you at the end of making my blanket. So guys, now I have come to the end here of another round. I'm just gonna finish that, and this is actually my last round of my blanket. And let me just pull this out. Yeah, so now I am going to change my color, and I will be doing the border. So I did a total of 46 rows, and these are the colors of how I intertwine them. So this one here is a pine, but this is a lighter shade than the original one that I used before. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of this one here, then I have this one, then coming down here, and that is how it looks so far, going down to here, which brings you back into the middle of the blanket. So I'm going to show you how to do the border. So now I'm just going to go and add my next color here. So this one here, this one is Spice. That's the name of the color. I'm not sure why they give it that name, but probably it looks more like close to paprika or something. So I'm just going to join that, and I'm going to cut my excess off, putting that aside, and tie here. So now that I've done that, I'm going to chain my 1 and insert into my first double crochet here, and I'm going to turn my work, and I don't have to turn. And in this case, what I can do is, since I'm not going to do any more rounds, I won't bother to turn, but just to chain 1, and then into that same stitch I am going to make a single crochet. So if you want to use a stitch marker to mark where you did that first chain 1 there, you can do so. And I'm just going to continue making single crochet right across, and after we're done making single crochet to complete the entire blanket, so we're doing it right around. After that, then I'll show you how to do another type of stitch where we will finish our blanket. So continue doing your single crochets right around, and I will show you what to do next. There it is. So guys, now we have reached to the end of making our single crochets right around the blanket. Now into this space here, we're going to make 1 single crochet, and then this is the first chain 1 that we did when we were making our single crochets before. So into this first single crochet, you're going to make your slip stitch, and that completes your single crochets for the entire brim there. So now this is the new, well, not a new stitch, but this is the stitch that I will be showing you how to do. So we'll be doing the crab stitch. So it is basically single crochet, but it is doing single crochet backwards, so it's like a reverse. So instead of going this way, you're gonna go back that way. So we're gonna chain one, and into this second chain here, this is where we're gonna start making our first reverse single crochet. So our chain one is there. We're gonna insert your hook like this, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. And you're gonna do this right around the brim of the blanket, making sure that it is not too tight and it's just right. So don't pull your yarn too tight when you're doing this, because you want it to look nice and fluffy. So continue doing that, inserting your hook back way or backwards and pulling up your loop and pulling through. Insert your hook again, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through, and continue doing that same thing. So I hope that you can see that well, how I do that. There it is. Very easy to follow. So this is how it looks. So it looks really cute and neat. So I'm just going to continue doing that right around until I meet back up here, and we're going to do a slip stitch and fasten off and weave in our tail. So continue doing that and I'll see you there. So guys, now I have come to my last stitch and I am just going to make my single crochet there. And I'm just going to tuck down on that, and I am going to make one more in this one here. Just pull that out back. So I just want to even out this part here, so I'm just going to do one more there. And then right in this part here, I hope you can see that well, I am just going to do a slip stitch. So insert your hook and pull through. I'm going to cut this. And there it is. So I'm just going to weave in that tail so you can see it there, and we're now completed. I'm so happy, yay! Oh my god, it takes a long while to do this crab stitch around this blanket. So I'm just gonna go in here just to close it down so that it just matches up in sequence. I'm gonna go back in, pull that through, and I'm gonna go right over there. So you can see that now that it is in line. And I'm just gonna go down, and basically now we're just weaving in this tail, making sure that it is well secured. And there it is. So guys, our blanket is now completed. You can go ahead, if you have not woven all your tails, and weave those in, and yeah, this is the end look of our blanket. So you can see I did 2 rows of this pine color green, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of the wheat, golden wheat, 1 row of the almond brown, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of the tan. And when I get to the carrot, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. And I have my dark brown here, which I did 2 rows. And then going back to the almond, which is, this one is a different brand. It's the Crafter, I think it's Smart Craft or something. I got this one at Michael's Smart Craft. That's the brand. So I did 1, 2, 3 rows of that. Then I have 5 rows of the golden wheat again here. And then with the coffee brown, I have 1, 2, 3 rows. And with the almond, I have 10 rows of that. And going back down to the tan, I have that there, which is the beginning, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. And that's where it started from. And now our blanket is now completed. So guys, I'm so happy, and I hope that this tutorial was very straightforward and you were able to make one of your own. You can make it in whatever color you want to make it in. You don't have to do it in this color. I just wanted something to look more earthly color, more like a forest looking kind of thingy. So that's the reason why I use this color combination, guys. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell me what you think. And if you're new to my channel, please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified each time I post a video. Until next time, guys. Bye.